Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM, 710 AM. Great to have you with us on a sunny Monday where the Chiefs season is officially over. Now, I proclaimed their season over last Monday on this show, so I'm not going to do the same thing again, and I'm going to make you wait 30 minutes for my take on the Chiefs today. But we'll get to it. It's a complex situation right now with the Chiefs that is exacerbated by the fact that Patrick Mahomes is now out for several months. I think he'll probably be able to go at the start of next season, but he might miss a couple, 3 games at the very beginning. This is not the end of the world. If you were a running back, this is a bigger deal than a quarterback. It's a knee injury. By the way, he was losing his mobility anyway. We saw that all year this year. He was getting caught a lot, and he got caught a lot yesterday from behind by defensive ends. 30 is a thing in athletics. We'll get into that in detail in about 30 minutes. Also want to start by wishing our friend Mark Van Sickle a very happy 41st birthday today. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
How are the peanut butter M&Ms today?
Oh, they're tasty. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You are all Seattled up today.
I am.
I mean, it took 2 seconds for you to flip the switch.
It's a thing. On my birthday, I was born in Seattle, so usually on my birthday, I wear something Seattle.
I love it. You got a team in the playoffs.
Yeah, luckily for me, they won yesterday. Grandpa Rivers almost beat them.
It is unthinkable that Sam Darnold is better than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And yet it's true. There's 15 quarterbacks this year that were better than Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs got a lot of work to do, and we will get to that. So let me just give you a little idea of a little inside baseball here of my little schedule that I have. On Saturday mornings, I get up pretty early before Jessica and let the dog out and do the thing. And then I go down to my office and I start writing a newsletter. I write a weekly newsletter. And I post it for the patrons at Kevin Kietzman Has Issues, which is my podcast. You can go to the website, kkhasissues.com, anytime and see what we're talking about here. And sometimes the newsletter is campy and it's fun. And it's sometimes it's 15 different stories of things that make you go, it's just different every time. Sometimes it's sports heavy. Sometimes it's Trump heavy. It could be anything. And on Saturday morning, I had a moment the previous day on Friday. I had seen these Christmas markets in Europe that continue to be vandalized by Christian-hating Muslims because they have an immigration problem in Europe. And we've now had a massive ring foiled in Germany. We also have one in L.A. that we just caught extremist jihadists, pro-Palestinian. They've announced the FBI in Los Angeles. We were planning a New Year's Eve attack with likely a truck bomb. They foiled that and arrested 4 people or 5 people on this thing. They did the same thing in Germany, and we're seeing all these things happen at these Christmas markets. And I'm watching Fox News on Friday morning, and they go outside to the plaza. They say, we have a Christmas plaza. This was a day after a woman just down the street at Macy's was changing a diaper in the ladies' room and was stabbed by a homeless person for no reason whatsoever. And all I could think of, there's this giant snow globe at this Fox News plaza in New York. You can step inside the snow globe, take a picture. It really looks cool. And the only thing that came to my mind when I saw it is, would you go do that? Would you feel safe in New York City on the Fox News Christmas Plaza with your family, your children, frolicking with Santa Claus and all this stuff, knowing what we know? Little did I know when I wrote this newsletter on Saturday, the world was about to just come unglued this weekend. And it did. I run into people all the time that say December's their hardest month. It's a hectic schedule. There are obligations, I would guess half the people that go to company Christmas parties really don't want to go, but they feel obligated to go. There's a lot of obligations. There are things that you do every December that just ratchets up the tension in your life. And because these are now religious holidays, the theme of my newsletter was, I don't remember Christmas being dangerous, but it certainly is dangerous. And now they're targeting Jews at the same time. I was writing mostly about Christians being targeted, and Americans. But we saw what happened in Sydney at Bondi Beach. Just incredible what happened there. And 15 dead, at least 15 dead, from a father and son jihadist team. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. When we're talking about the radical Islam, when we're talking about these crazy people, these radicals, this is a father and son tag team terrorist outfit. We've got pro-Palestinians in Los Angeles that have been arrested. This has been foiled. I've never even heard of this group. We have an attack in Syria. This doesn't even get any headlines over the weekend. 2 service members and an American civilian killed by ISIS in Syria. That's 3 Americans dead. Trump is promising to strike back at ISIS. They have the leader of this attack in custody, but they're going after more. And you can bet Trump is going to respond. We are just a little over a week away from Christmas. I can't believe how unglued we are. We have a violent attack in Los Angeles at Rob Reiner's house by his son who has mental health issues. What on earth happens to people in December? Some of this clearly is ideological. It's driven by the holiday season because these are religious holidays. And the jihadists hate this. I just asked Mark before the show started. I could be way wrong on this. I don't remember a lot of the Christians and the Jews targeting Muslims and just going to public spaces and killing Muslims. I must have missed this news. We have a problem in this world, okay? And it is, of course, dangerous to lump all people into one category. Most Muslims are peaceful. Fine. And they had mostly peaceful protests in Minneapolis while the police department was on fire. It doesn't take many. Those that are radicalized and crazy just completely upset the world. And I just think it's so terrible when we're all thinking about our faith a little bit more this month. Maybe we shouldn't, but we do around Christmas. Some people only go to one service a year and it's Christmas, or maybe they go twice a year. They go Easter and Christmas. But we become a little more religious this time of year, and we're seeing all of these unbelievable things happen. We have a crazy person still at large from Brown University in Rhode Island. They arrested the wrong guy, took him in custody, and now they don't know. I don't think they even know who or what they're looking for. What kind of target was this? Why the engineering building at Brown University? I don't have any idea. It's one story after another. And it's a shame when you get to the Christmas season and you have a moment like I had on Friday where I'm looking at this beautiful Christmas plaza and I'm thinking to myself, I would not go there. I thank you, Fox News, for putting this thing up. It's free. It looks really nice. There is no chance I would take my kids there. I might go there now as an adult, take a fun picture, and skedoodle out of there. But there is no way. Isn't that just awful? And maybe I'm part of the problem. Maybe shame on me for allowing them to let me think that way. But while most of our country has forgotten 9/11 and walked away from it, when we were all together, United States of America, for America first, we've split away from that. That was 24 years ago. We haven't forgotten. We've compartmentalized it. That's what Americans do. It's what most people do. Okay, it happened. It's over. And there is an expiration date on everything. We don't hate the Japanese today because they bombed Pearl Harbor. Okay, so these things expire. I get it. But the one constant in my life, in your life, is radical Islam. It has never faded. It has never gone away. Pete made some unbelievably great comments earlier on his show about open borders, about immigration. How stupid can we be? The Prime Minister of Australia is talking about this, says they're going to eliminate anti-Semitism in Australia. Well, that's a typical socialist. They think the government can do that. You can't get rid of anti-Semitism in Australia. Nice thought. They're immediately saying, take away the guns, take away the guns. That's not going to work. I can offer up that if some of those Jewish Australians at Bondi Beach had been armed, we wouldn't have 15 dead. There'd be 2 terrorists dead and maybe 6 people would have died and not 15 or more. But we got to stop letting these people in. What happened over the last 4 years, and I don't know if these radicals in L.A. that have been picked up and these other things were under Joe Biden or whatever, but we saw what happened. We know the numbers of people that are here. It is an astonishing number of people that are in this country illegally, and we just let them walk in and didn't ask them who they are, what they're about, what their affiliations are, or anything. We literally let Kilmar Garcia out of jail last week. He is a freaking terrorist from Tren de Aragua who should not be on our streets, should have never been in this country. is an absolute thug, criminal, gang member terrorist by trade. That's what he does. We've seen him human smuggling. We have videos of him getting stopped in Kentucky with 7 people hidden in his car. He's smuggling illegals in, and we just allow it. They tell him to stand down. And we've got judges everywhere saying, oh, he's got to have his due process. He doesn't get due process. If you're not an American citizen, sorry, you've broken the law. You're here illegally. We can deport you. That is the law. This is a terrible weekend. And this Rob Reiner thing makes me sick. I can't even imagine. This is the way this went down. It was a stabbing. I'm not going to get into the gory details. I can't even imagine the scene. The daughter walks in and finds her mom and dad, calls the police. They immediately target the son who has mental problems. Now Trump's out there tweeting about it, not in a very good way, posting things. We got to tone it down. I don't know how. I wish I had the solution. I just know that I try to ignore these stories and everything I do. I don't like violence. I don't like this hard news. I worked in television news for 10 years, and every day there would be videotape coming into the newsroom of bloody scenes, murders, car crashes, some of the most violent things ever. I don't like violent movies. I don't like seeing anything graphic like that. I don't like these stories. But after this weekend, how do you ignore it? And we've got a mass shooter running wild that they haven't found yet from Brown University, and the stories just keep piling up. It's now the one that's 4 days old, and we got 5 more. How bad's it going to be between now and Christmas? I don't remember my entire life being worried about violence around Christmas or thinking Christmas is some sort of violent holiday. Do you feel targeted? If you're Jewish, do you feel targeted? We've talked about that. We don't ever talk about people who hate Christians. That's not allowed, because that's the majority in this country, and we don't ever do anything for the majority or say, hey, what's going on here? That's just what I have been thinking the last few days, and where can you go publicly if you're around some? It seems harmless compared to this other stuff, but Mayor Lucas was on with Pete last week and said, yeah, we're just not going to have religious symbols at City Hall around the holidays, even though most of our holidays this time of year are religious. Well, that's exactly what they are, is religious holidays. And they're getting away from that. I would hate to think that some sort of whitewashing of our country, and, we do enough of this anyway. We've turned Christmas, so much about Christmas is not religious. It's the presents, it's the toys, it's the pie, it's the gathering, it's the eating, it's the Santa Claus, it's all those things, and those are nice. But I'd hate to think we're getting to a place where we just say, listen, humans aren't good enough to have religion like this. We got to scrub the whole thing. That's what the Democrats want. That's really what they want. And it feels like they're just going to use this kind of stuff and push it that way and say, let's not put up Christian symbols at City Hall. Let's not make it a target. I don't know. Maybe they're right. Maybe somebody would target something if there's a cross or a menorah or whatever may be. Just a horrible, horrible weekend. 913-408-7957. That's the number to call if you'd like to join us. 913-408-7957. This is Uncanceled. You're listening to KCMO Talk Radio.
From Gladstone to Gardner, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Hey, thanks for giving us a listen today. Good to have you on board. We're taking your phone calls at 913-408-7957 if you'd like to join the conversation. We begin this morning with Sally in Leavenworth. Good morning, Sally. How are you?
Oh, good morning. I'm surprised that my voice is on the line. Thank you so much for all your commentary. I love your show.
Thank you.
And anyway, I was listening the other day, and at the time, I believe it was President Trump. I can't remember the context of his speech, but he acknowledged he was speaking extemporaneously, and he acknowledged his speechwriter, who was a graduate of Brown University. And bingo, there's the target practice for the left agenda. So I think that what the mass shooting at Brown, which is an Ivy League college, and we know what happens there, and so I think that what is happening is there's going to be a lot of misinformation, disinformation, all that stuff that happens. And I'm a conspiracy theorist, of course, but I wrote to my friends. I belong to a very we're mostly older women. I'm almost 70. We range in age from 70 to 83. But we are members of the local Republican Women's Club, and we stay in communication with each other about topics. And so this came up from a friend this morning about the shooting. I had no idea it had happened.
Yeah.
I was trying to listen to Christmas music and joy.
So when Trump named his speechwriter, did he say the speechwriter went to Brown?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes. And he said, I don't always read his speeches because he's such a good extemporaneous speech.
I remember seeing it. I just didn't remember him saying Brown University. I think the guy's name was Rich or something, the speechwriter. He mentioned his name and was basically saying he's the best in the business, the whole deal. But I don't remember him saying Brown. You're saying for sure he cited Brown University in that speech last week?
I cannot say, I have pretty good recall for an old lady. But it was from Brown University because I had a friend who attended Brown and went to RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. She was an artist. But, So anyway, and I'm a Midwestern girl by heart.
Okay. Well, I thank you for the call, Sally.
So I remember these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sally.
That's the thread. Yep. Thank you. God bless you.
Call anytime. God bless you, and Merry Christmas to you, too. That's outstanding. Thank you very much. Yep. Appreciate her. Mark Donovan, the Chiefs president, played quarterback at Brown University. Little known fact. Maybe it's not so little known if you're a Chiefs fan. Here is Ed in Mission on KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Kevin. Yeah, this last night I was really shaken up after the Rob Reiner thing. Not because I had any love for him, but same as you, I just too much compressed into one weekend. It really shook me. But I'm also disturbed in the light of this when I think about all these people who think that this Luigi Mangione is some sort of a
hero,
folk hero.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, I can see situations where you have some pity, maybe even, for someone who killed someone. Maybe it was an imperfect self-defense. Maybe it was rage, heat of passion, whatever. Even if you don't agree with it or don't think it should be legally defensible, there's gradations there. But this Mangione, I mean, this was cold-blooded murder. In fact, he shot the guy in the back. He didn't even have the chutzpah to face him. I mean, it's horrible, and yet there's stories every time he makes a court appearance. There's stories about people who fly halfway across the country and wait in line 10 hours to get a glimpse of him. I mean, what is this? What's going on?
And the person on trial for killing Charlie Kirk was smirking and laughing in court last week. I don't think he's come to grips with what his life is about to become, because it's going to be bad. It's going to end very poorly for him. He's going to have a terrible existence in prison. He's got a really long, awful life. Well, maybe a very short, awful life ahead of him. But you're right. We see these things like that. And, the Rob Reiner thing, until Trump posted what he posted, the right was handling this the right way. We all know that Rob Reiner is an absolute loon when it comes to politics and was filled with hate, political hate. That is completely different than violence or whatever. And there's clearly mental health problems within his family. I just can't. Thank you very much for your call. I appreciate it. I cannot even wrap my head around raising a family, raising your children, and I got a 32-year-old son. I just can't even wrap my head around what an absolute tragedy this is, and it's not political. It's just not. When something like that happens in any family, it's just awful. We definitely have a mental health crisis in America. All right, when we come back, I'm going in on the Chiefs. You ready? I'll give you my thoughts next on KCMO.
Hey, it's Vince Coglianese. Catch my new show at 11 o'clock after Kevin Kietzman on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs season ended with a thud yesterday. I think it actually ended last Sunday night against the Houston Texans because they had their chances. The Chiefs had all kinds of chances this year to become a better football team and make the playoffs. It was there. It was attainable. They were not a serious football team this year. The coaches weren't serious. The players weren't serious. Nobody was serious. Nobody. It was, for a proud organization and a dynasty era, 3 Super Bowls qualifies you as a dynasty. There's no question about that. And a quarterback in his 9th year that has never not been in the AFC Championship game, that is indeed a dynasty. And this thing crashed down looking like amateur hour. A season filled with penalties, dropped passes, stupid decisions by the coaches, and clearly something in the core. This doesn't just happen, okay? The Chiefs have good players. They were in every game. This is a team that it made its living winning close games, and all of a sudden they can't win any of them. How dumb was this football team Sunday? How dumb was Patrick Mahomes throwing an interception down 16-13 in the fourth quarter when you've got the 3 points in your back pocket, you're going to get the game tied, give your defense at home a chance to do its thing, and you throw an interception? If they just get the 3 there and the 3 at the end of the game where Minshew throws the interception, they win the game. Folks, we have to come to the realization that this team this year was poorly coached, didn't do anything, any of the little things right. They didn't seem to care that they committed penalties right and left. They dropped passes, and they made terrible decisions. Andy Reid's decision with 20 seconds to go in this game, with no chance of winning in regulation, in field goal range, with 1 timeout, letting Gardner Minshew drop back and throw another pass was insane. Run the ball. You just had a 5-yard penalty. Run the ball, get 3 of them back. Just give me 3 of those yards back. Give me Butker 10 feet closer to the goalpost. That's all. Just give me 3 yards, and I'll call timeout with 3 seconds left. Let's go to overtime and see if we can't make a play on defense. Maybe we'll get a takeaway. Maybe we'll get a strip sack. Maybe something good will happen, and we just win this thing by default because the defense steps up. The worst you're going to do is lose in overtime, but at least you're in overtime. And there goes Minshew in one of the worst throws you'll ever see. He threw it to Kelsey. Why? Because when he came in the game, Kelsey pounded him in the chest and said, "Come on, man, let's do this." And all of a sudden, Minshew's like, "I just got to throw it to Kelsey." Did he throw to anybody else when he was in there? He just looked at Kelsey every time. There were so many plays Sunday where Mahomes left the pocket too early. Yes, the offensive line is poor. Yes, he's been under duress all year. I don't ever remember a Chiefs quarterback locking in on a receiver like Patrick Mahomes did yesterday with number 4, Rashee Rice. They showed a couple of replays where Mahomes, I think, took a sack, and they're like, "Oh, look at this. He's looking for Rice." And they take the wide shot, and Xavier Worthy's wide open down the field, and 80's wide open down the field. I'm like, my God, could you look anywhere other than number 4? You're Patrick Mahomes. As I'm driving in here today, I'm listening to one of the country stations. They're all on there like, he's Superman. He's going to come back. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be better than ever before. And we're going to win 3 more, folks. They ain't winning nothing if they bring what they brought this year. Ever again. Forget about it. And that includes Patrick Mahomes. And if the organization cannot recognize that Mahomes, as of right now, is part of the problem, not the solution, they're not going to get this right. The Patriots went, 9 years without winning a Super Bowl? They won 3. Brady got hurt. It took like 9 more years for them to win another one. They won 3 more. It was unbelievable. Guess what? They were a completely different team. When Brady won his first 3, he didn't do much. They ran the ball. They played defense. They won 17-13. When they tried to do that more often down the road, it wasn't working. The game was changing. Brady turned into a 400-yard-a-game passing guy. He became an absolute beast throwing the football that he had never been in his career. They were a high-flying machine, and they were great. The Chiefs are probably the opposite of this. You're probably looking at a 30-year-old Patrick Mahomes who's going to have to learn how to be a pocket passer. He's gonna have a bad knee the rest of his life. Look, at quarterback, you can get away with a knee. If a running back gets this, you're like, well, it's probably over. You're 31. You're going to be 31 next year with an ACL. You're probably done as a running back. But as a quarterback, you're fine. He's got to change his game. Folks, what I saw all this year is that Mahomes at age 30 lost a step. And I will repeat what I've said all along. He is not George Brett. If you're as old as I am and you've been watching sports in this town that long, you remember George Brett was a chunky little baby-faced, baby fat kind of guy that just was gifted and didn't take it all that seriously. And as he got older and had more injuries, George Brett became a workout machine. Like he went from a 23-year-old skirt-chasing, beer-drinking, playing hungover the next day baseball player to this 31-year-old chiseled dude that was going to try to play till he was 40 and get in the Hall of Fame, and he was completely rededicated. Mahomes is not there yet. And maybe getting caught, even on the play that he got hurt on, he got caught on that play. How does he not feel that? There were a couple yesterday, we've watched him his whole career where he's had this pocket feel. Like, here comes 78 around the end or whatever the defensive end's number was yesterday. I'm like, run, Mahomes. You're not running fast enough. He's catching you. He felt him. He knew he was there and was still trying to make a play. Like, has he really lost a step? Has he lost the pocket presence? What has he lost in his game? Listen, he didn't have a lot of help. There were a lot of drop balls. There was poor offensive line play. All these things are true. And Andy Reid hasn't dialed up a new play in 5 years. I said it last Monday, and I'll say it again. Nothing will surprise me. But I was just tossing out thoughts a week ago. I'm adamant about this now. The Chiefs need a makeover. They got to blow this thing up and figure out what Mahomes 2.0 is. If that's even with Andy Reid. It certainly ain't with Matt Nagy. Love you, Matt. I know you're a good dude. I know people that are like your neighbor, and you got a great family and all that. It's over. It's over. You can't come back. You're not the guy. And maybe Andy needs to go outside his circle. If Andy's going to stay, it's time to go hire some 32-year-old offensive genius that does all kinds of stuff you've never even heard of. They're everywhere. They're making head coaches out of them at the college and the pro level. And I'm not trying to be an ageist here or anything else. Andy's a Hall of Famer. He has the right to retire on his own timeline and not be terminated. But it is time to look long and hard about your coaching staff. Dave Tobe's gone. Tobe and Nagy just gone. Dave Tobe's just done. Sorry, don't even think about it. This isn't even up for debate. If either one of them is back, the Chiefs are cooked next year. That means they're not serious about their problems. He's got to change his staff. His staff needs to get younger. They need to start doing things offensively that other teams do. We used to be the innovators here. 10 years ago, Mahomes takes over. Look at all this stuff they're doing. All kinds of crazy fun. Nothing changed. It's a great offense, but it's run its course. Everybody knows what the Chiefs are. Rashee Rice, Mahomes' favorite target, coming into the game yesterday. Did you guys see this statistic? Against man-to-man coverage. Coming into the game yesterday, Rashee Rice had 7 catches this year for 66 yards. Against man-to-man.
Not good.
He's only a zone beater. That's it. You don't think the league knows that? Like Jim Harbaugh showed up at Arrowhead yesterday and did one of the most unbelievable things ever. This guy will go for 4th downs all the time, right? The Chiefs are up 7-0. It's the first quarter. The Chargers have 4th and 1 at like the 20, 22. It's like they're knocking on the door. He sends his kicker out there. I'm like, what is he doing? Well, I know what he was doing now. He's like, this is going to be a rock fight. We're going to be tougher. We're going to hit the hell out of this team. We're going to bruise them and batter them and knock guys out of the game and take personal fouls and get a guy kicked out. We're going to do whatever it takes to tell this team we are done being pushed around by you the last decade. We're here to hurt you. And they did. And when you've got 3 Super Bowl rings in your locker inside the stadium and you're driving your $300,000 car to the game, you probably don't want it as bad as the other guy. And that's what I saw out of the Chiefs this year. Where it really shows is not effort. NFL players play hard on every play. You're going to get hurt if you don't. Nobody phones in a play. Occasionally a receiver won't run a route. It'll just take the play off because it's a running play. You see some of that. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what it takes to be a champion. And that is Chris Jones. It didn't cost him. Andy called a timeout at the end of the first half because Chris Jones was lined up in the neutral zone. Then the timeout happens. Then they go back out there. It's a big fourth down play. And what does Chris Jones do? Lines up in the neutral zone. It was unbelievable. They called a timeout because he was lined up in the neutral zone. The Chiefs get the stop, right? They bat the pass down. It was an 11-point swing at the end of the half.
Yeah, that cost him right there.
11-point swing. You just can't. It goes back to like D Ford. We all remember that game. You ask, how can this thing happen? And did it really matter on the play? Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a penalty. You can't do it. I feel like the Chiefs, and Andy is a player's coach, I feel like they've always had more of the sloppy, silly, stupid things than most teams, but they've always gotten away with it. That can't be the Chiefs 2.0. And Andy, if you don't have it in you to field a team that doesn't commit penalties, that does all the little things well, that finds a receiver that can go high point a ball and help his quarterback out, to find a kick returner or a special teams coach that can just get you an 11-yard kick return every now and then on a punt. Just every now and then, give me 11 yards. Get me to the 40, please.
No flags.
No flags. If you can't realize that you're part of the problem, this is everyone. I'm watching with a couple of buddies from high school yesterday. We brought up the question, what could the Chiefs get for Patrick Mahomes? And it got that silent. And then we started talking about it more, and we started talking about all the teams we've seen, all the players we've seen. They get in their 30s, how things change, whatever. I said, well, the whole thing's preposterous unless the next great quarterback is coming out of college, and you know it. That isn't this year. Maybe it's not next year. Maybe it's the year after. I don't know. When Mahomes gets to be 33, 34, and you're dead sure the next big thing is coming out, the Packers have done it repeatedly. The Packers said goodbye to Brett Favre. The Packers say goodbye to Aaron Rodgers. The good organizations at some point do it. Today's not that day. His market value's down because he's got an ACL. But the Chiefs need to think right now about what version 2.0 is of the Mahomes era. Does it involve Andy? Does it involve a new coordinator? Does it involve a new strategy? Whatever that may be. What kind of blockbuster trade? They've avoided. There's been receivers available, expensive receivers available. The Chiefs have repeatedly passed on that. Guys that can make a difference. It absolutely can be done. The Cowboys went out and got Pickens by the trade deadline, right? Great player. Would look great in Kansas City.
The Chiefs passed on Pickens and took Sky Moore in the draft a few years ago.
Oh, that really hurts.
That hurt.
They love little, fast receivers. You got to rethink it. That's not the way. Tyreek Hill was an exception. He's a freak. He was great. You're not going to catch that lightning in a bottle again. It's not the way you do it. It's not just your 40 time. You got to catch the ball. You got to high point it. You got to get open against man coverage. I don't know, man. I think at Arrowhead, they're looking. They better be looking at everything, because if they think, and teams do fall in this trap, and it'd be easy. Look, I'm not even saying, like Andy Reid's got, what is he, 67? Making $15 million a year, something like that. He's won 3 Super Bowls. Nobody's going to fire the guy. He gets January off for the first time in years. Like, he's going to have some time off and decompress and whatever. But if he just thinks, I'll come back, we're going to practice better next year, we're going to coach him a little bit better, and we're going to be fine. This division's turned. Bo Nix and Justin Herbert are both better than Mahomes right now. And their systems and their schemes and their coaching are much better than the Chiefs' coaching. Much. And you know what these two guys are? I'll say it because I don't really care for either one of them. They're both dirty coaches. Harbaugh and Peyton are both dirty coaches. And they're teaching that to their team. They want it more. Hurt that guy. Hit him. Blow him up. Wipe him out on the field. Try to do it within the rules, but if you don't, if you happen to hit a helmet, you happen to hit a helmet. Okay, you got ejected today. Big deal. Whatever. He's still laying there rattled. He's not going to beat us today. No, it's a complete hostile takeover of the AFC West, and I don't think the Chiefs knew they were in this fight. They're rolling down the road on a 2-lane highway in a Honda Civic, and here comes an 18-wheeler, and that's what got them. This division is tough. It's very tough. And what they're doing is not good enough. All right, we come back. We'll check in with Mark. It's his birthday. We'll get his thoughts on what the Chiefs need to do, where they are, and try to lighten it up just a little bit next on KCMO.
From Leewood to Liberty, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Happy birthday, Mark Van Sickle. What's your plan for the Chiefs this offseason?
I think you need to upgrade the defensive line, get a new running back. I would say go out and get Kyle Pitts, the tight end from the Falcons, since Kelsey's going to retire, and mix up the coaching staff. So just a few things to do.
Just a few things to do. We're not tweaking. We're talking about a redo here, right?
Yeah.
I think we can all see that. Now, is it safe to say two of your favorite things are church and the Chiefs?
Yeah.
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 Two of, not the two most, but family, obviously, and things like that, right? So this clip is great. My father-in-law sent me this. They go to Journey Church in Lee's Summit. It's also Ryan Lefevre's church, who I've known for such a long time. And the lead pastor there is a man named Christian Newsom. And he just decided, this a couple Sundays ago, I think, he just decided he was going to use the 2025 Chiefs as the basis of the most important part of his sermon. And I think you're going to love his humor and his delivery. This is fantastic.
Y'all ever seen Mahomes do this after like every play that he runs? They show him on the field and he's doing this. You know, if you've watched any of the behind the scenes documentary, you know when he does this, he's telling the coach on the sideline, I'm listening, tell me to play. Journey, this is how God wants you to come into church. What's the play this week? I'm listening. See, coming to church is not the game. Coming to church is the huddle so that we can go play the game when we leave here. So we walk in and Andy tells Nagy and Nagy tells Mahomes and Mahomes tells the team and they say ready break and then they go line up and 74's off sides and he jumps off sides again and then Mahomes throws a pass and somebody drops it like that's the play. We know like that's the 2025 play over and over again, right? So we walk into church and we're like, hey God, who you want me to notice this week? Hey God, who you want me to talk to this week? Hey God, who you want me to tell about Jesus this week? Hey God, who you want me to reach out to this week? Like if this becomes the huddle, life becomes the play. We come in here and we say, all right, God, today, what's the play today, God? And God says, go make disciples. Go tell people about Jesus. Ready, break, and we go and we do it.
That's fantastic. Christian Newsom, Journey Church in Lee's Summit. I love it. You know, 74's offside, and then Mahomes throws it, and the receiver drops it. It's the play for 2025. The whole city knows this. We watched it, and we should be able to laugh at it, and we should love the fact that the Chiefs have been so great for so long. But it's got to be fixed. That guy's worth the price of admission right there, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, our locks hit this weekend, Mark. We are now 5 games over 500 for our Stone Cold.
Lately.
You had the Chargers plus 5.5, right?
Easy.
Yeah. I had Villanova plus 12.5, I think. And they both won. Both underdogs won outright. Mm-hmm. That was some good advice we had on Friday.
If we would have played a money line, that would have been a lot of money.
Ooh. And parlayed the two of them?
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, where was that on Friday? I'm disappointed in you now, buddy. I don't think your Seahawks covered, right?
No. Grandpa Rivers almost beat him.
I know. That's unbelievable. 44 years old. He didn't embarrass himself, did he?
He only slipped once, and it was because he was at midfield on the paint.
Yeah, and it was a slip. It wasn't like my legs. I'm an old man. My legs gave out, although that's always possible. After KU won in overtime on Saturday at North Carolina State, they came out on the set with the analyst, Bruce Pearl, and all these other people. Did you hear the conversation after the game?
I missed it.
They were like all in agreement that Darren Peterson should not play again.
Really?
They're like, it's too late in the season. This is a lingering injury. He's got to get healthy for the draft if he wants to go number one. And they were all like Bruce Pearl's like, if this is my player, I'm shutting him down.
I could see that.
It seems too early to me still. It's mid-December.
Yeah. At least see if he can play some Big 12 games.
If he grabbed it again, the point is in the game, he grabbed it again and tweaked it and got injured again on Saturday. If it's lingering like that, I understand that he is a professional. They paid him a lot of money to play at Kansas, and he's going to make a lot of money in the NBA, and that is the most important thing. But you can't say you're shutting it down for the year. Maybe they say right now 4 weeks. I don't know. Shut him down. Let's get this thing as healthy as we can. But I don't even understand the logic at this point of just saying I'm done for the year. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, got to see if he can play some Big 12 games at least.
Yeah. Council was pretty good, huh? What do you have, 36 points?
36 points, 9 threes. Crazy.
Most threes ever by one player in the Bill Self era?
Yep.
Fantastic. Great. And the Royals got a left fielder. Royals got a left fielder this weekend. They traded Angel Zerpa for Isaac Collins, who apparently is going to play every day from the Milwaukee Brewers. There's a name to know. Happy birthday, Mark. What are you doing the rest of the day? Anything special?
Hanging out with the family later.
Hanging out with the family. Get those hugs, baby. Happy birthday. The Vince Show's coming up next. Thanks for listening to Uncanceled.